Please forgive me, this is my first video. I found this image on Google Images and it stuck out to me because it's very inviting, very organic looking, it's very well positioned. So I like the way that you're drawn into her eyes and she has this warm, inviting look, and she's slightly off center, which is actually visually pleasing to the eye. So I'm not sure if that's a copyright thing. If I'm just going to be drawing it, then it's probably no big deal. But I draw portraits, so I just wanted to show people how to actually draw a portrait just by looking at something. So it takes a bit of measuring. Okay, so if this is the entire length of the picture, if you divide this in half, she is directly on this half. And if you measure the distance of her head, there's 3. So going across, you want to do like a split it in half and then measure it into 3 sections, and that is where you'll get her proportions right. So if you look at like this paper, so you split that into very lightly, split it into 3. Like, I'm not all for doing those really intricate grids. Like, I'll do ratios and stuff like that, but I try to stay away from the really technical grids because that's just way too involved. Okay, so of those lines, her actual face within here would be about 3/4 of the way up. So let's see. I want to say about there. Okay, so her hairline, it's like one of these. Like it's all about finding the shapes and the angles. Like sometimes if you want to find out what angle her face is leaning, line up a pencil and find that angle, then take that angle and then put it right there so it's going the same exact angle. So if you go like this, see, then her face is leaning the same direction as in the picture. That way you know you're getting the right angle. There we go. And then her hair does kind of this flowing thing. There we go. So this is all just rough sketching. There will not be anything really nice looking out of this right away. But it's all just spacing it out. Like the most important thing is to make sure that you have it all spaced out evenly, mathematically correct. Believe it or not, most of a drawing is not the outline. In fact, the less of an outline you have, the more successful of a drawing you will have that's closer to real life. Because in real life, people don't have outlines. If you go outside right now, how many people do you think have an outline? They would look like a cartoon that just jumped out of a TV show. Let's see here. She's got like an earring or something there. And like, really, it's a matter of roughing out the outline and basic shapes first. Let's see, her shoulder actually comes to about her chin. Okay, so that's where I want to, there we go. Okay, so her shoulder comes out to about her chin. Let's see. I'm actually going to fill out her cheeks more. So about there. And you can double check that with your pencil. See it? There's ways to measure everything. If you want to find out the exact place of something, you can always use your own pencil as a ruler and a guideline to figure out where something is placed. Like I see a lot of artists doing this, like they'll hold up their eyes and they'll do, you know, these little things because they're measuring it directly off the scene in front of them. Like if I wanted to measure how far that car is from the window, you know what I mean? You can actually use your own pencil to translate, you know, dimensions in real life even. You can convert everything you see physically, even in real life, into a 2D image. There we go. I'll bring that out a little bit more. There we go. So, her arm is at that angle. Okay, so take that, put it right there, and you follow that same angle, just like that. See? Okay. Once you get a little more into this stuff and you've been doing it for a while, you don't even think about it. All of this stuff that I'm doing right now is just second nature. It's automatic. There's no thinking about it. You just do it. Kind of like muscle memory. If you can do something enough times over and over and over, and you get the hang of it so well, you don't even think about it. It's as simple as walking or breathing. It's just totally automatic. Okay, so let's see. Her arm comes out. If this is from here to here, her arm comes out maybe 2/3 from her face. So let's see. About there. Okay. Like that. There we go. Measurements and angles, very important stuff. Okay. But yeah, the key of the drawing is to actually make it appear as though there is no outline. You don't want the outline. Let's see here. So I'll be making a few videos on this specific drawing. I'll do it like step by step as I go. Like this is probably the first video I'm going to be making on this channel. So I don't have anything fancy yet. Hopefully in time I can get, you know, fancier stuff, but I will try to at least cover what I know. Okay, let's see. So this goes here, and this comes out to like maybe it lines up with the edge of her hair, so let me do that. So, okay. Whoa, my back hurts. Okay, let's see. Okay. Once I start getting into like the shading and coloring and highlight, whoa, that's when this comes alive. The outline should never be anything too fancy. If you spend a ridiculous amount of time on just the outline and you make it look absolutely perfect, then what you have right there is a cartoon. You know, keep in mind that the outline is only for, you know, a guideline. If your goal is to do realism and make it look like real life, remember that an outline is only a guideline. It's not gonna stay like that. It should have very little importance. I mean, the only thing that is absolutely important about the outline is because you want everything in the right position so that it's mathematically correct. So it is important. It's just not something that you're going to actually see in the finished product. So far, so good. Okay. Her arm also kind of goes this direction, I notice. So let's do that. Kind of round it out. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay. So let's see. This, I want to say, this line goes up almost to her elbow, I want to say. Not quite to her elbow, but almost. Let's see. It's amazing, just by measuring things with your pencil, you can bypass using a grid. Because most people will use this very complex, intricate grid, but one, then you got to erase all those lines. And two, that's a lot of work just for an outline. You can seriously use your pencil to measure this stuff. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So then, okay. There we go. And you can change little details in your picture as you go. You know, I try to change certain details because I don't want to totally copy this image because I'm not sure if it's copyrighted, and I don't want to be a douche. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Might bring that out a little bit more. That's the cool part about these lines too, is, you know, if you draw very lightly, it is forgiving, and you can refine your lines. There we go. So this is just the outline for now. All right. And her hand seems to go down like this, I think. So make sure and don't do the outline too dark. I'm almost deliberately making my outline a little too dark, just so you can see it in the video what I'm doing. But in real life, don't do your outline too dark, because that can actually interfere with the quality of your drawing. If you're trying to make it look like there's no outline, you want to actually do the outline pretty light. There we go. There we go. Yeah, in my picture I'm going to actually extend that down a little bit because that's okay. But yeah, there's this shape, and then there's this shape. Kind of close. Let's see here. I'm not really being too accurate on this picture, mostly because I don't think it's required on this to make it look exact. Like if you were doing an actual portrait where you wanted to make it look exactly like the photograph, I could probably do that in another video. But this is just how to draw a very basic, simple human form and make it look as realistic as possible without being specific about, you know, their appearance. You don't have to, like, if you're drawing a general picture of somebody that does not have to look like anyone in particular, this is that kind of picture. But if it absolutely has to look like the person in the picture, that would probably be a different video. Let's see. There's also techniques to do that, but that would definitely be a different video. Okay. Here we go. There. So far, so good. Now for her face. Let me see if I can actually zoom in on her face here. Sorry, I'm like not the richest person in the world. I don't know the cameras and all that stuff. I don't got the fancy stuff, but I'll show you what I know. Okay. So, faces are my favorite thing to draw. There we go. Not to get all like religious or anything, but I figure if God made people to look like him, I like drawing people because each person looks like a piece of his personality, you know? Like a piece of God. Each person looks in their own way like a version of God. It's kind of cool. There we go. Okay. So, if you want to measure the angle of everything, if you notice, her nose is parallel at this level, the eyebrows, everything goes this direction. So you want to take that angle and use it like that as a guideline. See what I'm saying? So here's her eyes, her nose, and her mouth right there. See how they all follow that angle? So you have this line that's going this way, and these lines that go that way. They intersect like a grid. It's a way to get a grid without having to do the entire thing. Because I'm lazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm lazy. Let's see. So the outline doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to even be, you know, visually all that pleasing. It could be sloppy looking, but as long as it's in the right place, as long as it's, you know, in the correct placement, that's all that matters. Because you are not going to have this outline by the time this is done. There will be no outline. Do you see an outline on this? No. So right now this looks like crap compared to what it's going to. Okay, so her eyebrows. If you're doing eyebrows from the side, eye sockets kind of do this shape. Think of hearts. They do this heart shape in either direction. See what I'm saying? So if you're doing eyebrows, you want them to wrap around that shape like that. That is the socket, because it overlaps, because there's generally a brow ridge. So imagine as this brow ridge is wrapping all the way around. So it creates this this arch effect. And the best way to do it is to draw hearts around the eyes. Believe it or not, if you're doing it from a side profile, hearts. It's cheesy and it's a quick little trick to help you, but it works. I use it all the time. See how it makes the contour of her eyebrows around her eyes look, you know, consistent with the direction of her face, like the angle and everything. You want it to look consistent with the angle. Oh my god, excuse me. That was bad. Man, for making a channel like this, I gotta at least try to be a little bit more professional. Jeez. Maybe that could be my trademark thing, you know? I guess Bob Ross has happy little trees. You know, I could have like burping and farting and... Oh god. Here's how we do this. We're gonna paint a little... Oh man, okay. So for her nose, the nose, if you follow that same angle that goes down this way, you take it from the corner of the eye down, and that will be the outer portion of her nose. Usually, people have different size noses, but in general, this seems to be a very common ratio. Okay. Alright. And there we go. Let's see, she's smiling. So, a common mistake that people make when drawing smiles, they think it's this. That looks like the Chucky doll. Don't do this shit. Don't do it. Okay, a real smile, believe it or not, straight across. Straight across most of the time. On the upper lip, anyway. It's the bottom lip that has slightly more curvature to it, and it goes straight down on the edge. Because it's from a side profile, it does this up and down thing. I'll show you what I mean. If you look on this picture, alright, let me zoom in a bit. See, I got my pencil in my mouth, so I can't really talk. Okay. So see how it comes straight down because that's the edge of her teeth. Because it's from a rotated angle, you're not going to do it directly across. There we go. But this does continue upward like that, so that way you can see at least the edge of her teeth. And again, I'm not trying to make this look exactly like the woman in the picture, but just similar, because I'm not sure of the copyright issue. I like to make things a little bit unique so that I'm not being a total meanie. Here we go. But if it was a picture where I wanted it to look specifically like somebody, you know, maybe I might ask somebody if I could maybe borrow their picture. Like, hey, would you want to be my guinea pig for today? You know, I'm real big on getting permission. Let's see here. There we go. So this is just how to do the outline. In the next video, I'll probably do like how to actually color this thing. There we go. Yeah. There you go. That's the outline.